work, write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. American model Janet Pilgrim 1959. British photo model Suzanne Mitzi 1988. September 1943. Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Boy who rides to and from school daily on a Greyhound bus waiting outside the depot. May 1942. Amusement park in Southington, Connecticut. (1938) San Francisco, Reserve Vicinity, St. John Parish, Louisiana. Steamboat Gothic circa 1850. Washington, D.C., circa 1926. Men examining skulls. Summer 1936. Cat on porch of a sharecropper's cabin, Hale County, Alabama. March 25, 1952. Lever House, 53rd Street and Park Avenue. Gordon Bunn Haft, architect. Our lovely lady from upstate New York once again, here wearing the most incredible hat. Another photo from the collection of circa 1912. May 1942. Paris Island, South Carolina. U.S. Marine Corps Glider Detachment Training Camp. A barrage balloon takes to the air under capable handling by a Marine Corps ground crew. May 6, 1924. Arlington, Virginia. Byers-Kuntz wedding. The union of Miss Virginia Byers to Lieutenant. November 25, 1950. Locker room gloom. Dejected high school football team in locker room at the Freeport Municipal Stadium after the first half. Washington, D.C., circa 1915. Die Margaret Miss Group. July 1943. Montgomery County, Maryland. World Cruise at Glen Echo Park. San Francisco circa 1920. Cole Aero 8 Roadster. The Jersey Shore circa 1905. In the surf at Asbury Park. The East River circa 1905. Williamsburg Bridge from Brooklyn. December 5th, 1940. Joseph Mullen Incorporated, 18 East 50th Street, New York. View from window. January 25th, 1955. Becton Dickinson Incorporated, Rutherford, New Jersey. Fellheimer Wagner client. Double secretarial desk. February 26, 1954. Large group of infants in high chairs with various adult foods on their trays. Palatine, Illinois, circa 1950. School children at Hirsch's. Circa 1904. Havana, Cuba the Prado, looking south. Circa 1908. High Street at night, Arch City, Columbus, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio, circa 1905. Shoot the Chutes ride at Luna Park. The Mississippi River circa 1906. Steamboat landing at Vicksburg, Mississippi. New York circa 1908. Fifth Avenue and 42nd Street. Circa 1910. Schlitz Hotel, Atlantic City. On the boardwalk at Ocean Avenue. This is my mom, Dorothy Porter, and my two older sisters, Madge and June, on a family vacation trip to Folly Beach, South Carolina in the summer of 1950. Charming Eva Eden, photo 1966. April 20th, 1965. Vending machines, cigarettes. Washington, D.C., circa 1928. Chesapeake Potomac Telephone Company Office Boys Football Team. Washington, D.C., 1936. Department of Interior exhibit kitchen at All Electric Farm. Somewhere in Washington, D.C., circa 1926. S.W. Barrow is all it says here. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. National Fruit Company banana truck. June 1943. Arlington, Virginia. One of several alcoves off the corridor in Idaho Hall, Arlington Farms, a residence for women who work in the U.S. government for the duration of the war. September 11, 1900. Masonic Temple, State Street, Chicago Temple Theater and Central Music Hall. Completed 1892. Circa 1907. Atlantic House, Nantasket Beach, Massachusetts. Detroit, circa 1909. The new YMCA building. (1937) Slater House, St. Augustine, St. Johns County, Florida. Dr. Chatelain's photographs. P.A. Wolf, photographer. August 1943. Middle River, a small crossroads in the vicinity of Baltimore, Maryland. March 1943. American and British engineers taking time out for a smoke. They are standing on an American locomotive somewhere in Iran. Washington, D.C., circa 1918. Fraser, James C., Mrs. Group, is all it says here. March 8, 1913. Wyandotte, Michigan. Steamers A.D. McTeer and F.P. Jones sponsors. New York, circa 1907. Knickerbocker Hotel, Broadway 42nd Street. June 17, 1912. Stanford University varsity crew at Poughkeepsie, New York Boathouse. New York, December 1913. Hook Ladder Company No. 7, 3rd Avenue and 15th Street. Circa 1904. Fisk House and Beach, Old Orchard, Maine. Circa 1910. Morgan Residence, St. Clair Flats, Michigan. San Francisco, 1928. DeSoto 6 sedan. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Beautiful Natalie Banas photo shoot 1990. Jane Mansfield's beautiful 1959 photo shoot. August 1923. Washington, D.C. Dump story. Washington, D.C. Girls at Potomac Tidal Basin Bathing Beach Pavilion, May 28, 23. (1963). George Jenkins, founder of the Publix supermarket chain, with his family at their home in Lakeland, Florida. November 12, 1920. Washington, D.C. 14 persons injured in crash of 3 cars. Wreck at 9th and F streets when brakes fail to work endangers many others. Policemen leap to safety. More than 2,000 citizens delayed an hour in getting home. May 1921. Washington, D.C. Charles Seeger, a composer, is a brother of Alan Seeger, the war poet. His wife is a distinguished violinist. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. People's Drug Store, 15th Street, New York Avenue, NW. January 1943. Freight operations on the Indiana Harbor Belt Railroad between Chicago and Hammond, Indiana. Getting his waybills, Conductor Cunningham telephones his yardmaster with the number of cars he has to handle and where the delivery is to be made. May 1943. Clinton, Iowa. Women wipers of the Chicago Northwestern cleaning one of the giant freight locomotives. San Francisco. Maxwell, 1919, is all it says here. (1963) George Jenkins, founder of the Publix supermarket chain, at store in Lakeland, Florida. Detroit circa 1899. Detroit NE from Chamber of Commerce. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida, street scene. November 1938. Shafter, California. During the cotton strike, the father, a striking picker, has left his wife and child in the car while he applies to the Farm Security Administration for an emergency food grant. September 26, 1922. Washington, D.C. Virginia Avenue Playgrounds. Circa 1904. Depot at Braidwood, Illinois. January 1937. Children of migrant citrus worker who lives in a rundown apartment house. The sink at the head of the stairs is the only running water in the house. Winter Haven, Florida. March 1936. One-room house on Collins Forest and Game Reservation between the Tennessee and Cumberland Rivers in Kentucky. May 1936. Sharecropper's family in Mississippi County, Missouri. Typical sharecropper shack with crop entirely surrounding house. New York, 1904. Goat carriages in Central Park. San Francisco circa 1920. Grand Touring Car. (1924) Washington, D.C. Rock Creek Park. Miss Catherine Wren and Norvell Munford. Washington, D.C., 1924. The latest in electric baseball scoreboards. George Coleman, inventor, is shown with the mechanism of the new scoreboard. February 1923. Miss Jacqueline Mansfield. Washington, D.C., circa 1940. Star Parking Plaza, 10th and East Streets, NW. This motor-age landmark with Art Deco. January 26, 1937. Fort Belvoir troops proceed to flood area. Washington, D.C., 1940. Daughters of the American Revolution reception. J. Edgar Hoover, Federal Bureau of Investigation Director, greets Mrs. Henry M. Robert Jr., President General of the DR. American model and beauty queen, June Cochran. Photo 1963. Atlantic City, New Jersey, circa 1905. A lifesaver on the lookout. Circa 1910 surf bathers, somewhere in New England. Circa 1906. Custom House and Post Office, Memphis, Tennessee. (1917) Torpedo Shop, Washington Navy Yard. November 1938. Family of rural rehabilitation client. Tulare County, California. Husband also works about 10 days a month outside the farm. Is 26 years old. Wife 22, 3 small children. Been in California 5 years. San Francisco, 1921. California Street east from Montgomery. November 1942. Babies Hospital, New York. Nurse training. Through classes in pediatrics, student nurses learn how the right toys can be almost as important as medicine and diet in getting a sick child well. Circa 1907. 4th Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati again circa 1907. 4th Street west from Main. August 10th, 1952. Art Frandl and Stephen Lee, 10 months. December 1960. Interior barber shop. Republic Building, 209 South State Street, Chicago. Architects, Hollywood Roche. Completed 1905, demolished 1961. August 1942. And so he says to me, sailor mechanics at the Naval Air Base in Corpus Christi, Texas, laugh heartily over a good story between servicing operations on Navy planes. San Francisco, 1928. Auburn Phaeton sedan. San Francisco, 1928. Auburn Phaeton sedan. Minneapolis circa 1910. Hotel Radisson and 7th Street. April 1926. Washington, D.C. Ms. Louise Thorne of the National Academy of Sciences holding a plant growing in an airtight bulb. Washington, D.C., 1919. Police coffee. Washington, D.C., 1919. Police coffee. Washington, D.C. Tech High Football, 1919. November 16, 1923. Washington, D.C. Shura Cherkasky, Father Isaac, Mother Lydia. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Enchanting Natalie Banas, 1989. Sweet Maria Whitaker, 1987 photo shoot. The adorable Donna Evan. April 1943. Washington, D.C. Jitterbugs at an Elks Club dance, the cleanest dance in town. San Francisco, 1924. Maxwell crossing Washington Street at Spreckles Mansion. Washington, D.C., 1930. No caption, horse jumping through group of men. Cleveland, Ohio, circa 1900. Colonial Hotel, Prospect Avenue. Circa 1905. Superior Avenue, Cleveland. April 1943. Washington, D.C. A cafeteria. Philadelphia, circa 1912. Market Street west from 11th, with view of City Hall. San Francisco, circa 1920. Pierce Arrow Model 31 touring car. Durant, Mrs. T. Child, between March 1905 and August 1906. Atlantic City, circa 1914. Bathers in front of Chalfont Hotel and Steeplechase Pier. New York, circa 1912. Big buildings of Lower Manhattan. Detroit, circa 1905. Journal building at Fort and Wayne. Philadelphia, circa 1905. Broad Street Station of the Pennsylvania RR. San Francisco, circa 1918. Franklin touring car. somewhere in the 1950s, with a hand that seems suspiciously good. Detroit circa 1916. Washington Boulevard, East Side. Detroit circa 1916. Don Bank Branch, Broadway Grand Circus Park. New York circa 1914. Fifth Avenue at 42nd Street. Unknown kids in an unknown location, riding a giant tortoise, probably in Southern California, possibly the San Diego Zoo, or wherever you go to ride a giant tortoise. May 1954. Debbie Reynolds with Jane Powell in dance scene from the MGM musical Athena. Chicago circa 1910. The busy crowd on State Street. Washington, D.C., 1925. Snow removal Ford Motor Company, Fordson, Tractor, Pennsylvania Avenue. I have no idea of the relationship between these three, but they look straight out of a Hollywood gangster film. Or maybe everyone back then looked like they were in a gangster film. Dickey Christmas Tree, 1915. The family of Washington lawyer Raymond Dickey. San Francisco circa 1920. Marmon 34 limousine. Washington, D.C., circa 1935. And no caption, boy on toy pony next to Christmas tree. The gorgeous Tracy Lords, 1987. January 6, 1933. Manhattan from St. George Hotel in Brooklyn to Financial District, Night View. Banana Bert and Lil at Buzzards Bay Dairy Queen, 1950. June 1938. Stores on Sunday. Vincennes, Indiana. Russell at cabin is what's written on the slide mount. 1L Russell and all. Taken at Running Springs, California. Self-portrait as New Woman, 1896. Frances Benjamin Johnston, seated in front of fireplace, facing left, holding cigarette in one hand and beer stein in the other, in her Washington, D.C. studio. I obtained this photo at a paper show at the Rothman Center at Fairleigh Dickinson University many years ago. The photographer, Stadler, was based in Chicago. July 1941. Boys on the 4th of July. State College, Pennsylvania. June 1938. City Hall and Courthouse in Vincennes, Indiana. January 1937. Highway marker in Polk County, Florida. Circa 1904. State House, Boston, Massachusetts. With General Hooker on sentry duty 24/7. October 4th, 1938. Cakes for Sky Riders. Air travelers leaving Washington Airport during National Air Travel Week, October 2nd through 9, are being given a special treat. Cakes baked from their favorite recipes are being put aboard each plane by chefs of the leading hotels in the capital. January 1943. Washington, D.C. Girl in the doorway of her room at a boarding house. Circa 1899. Chicago Northwestern Railway Station, Elmhurst, Illinois. This is Raleigh. He is about 8 in these 1951 photos. Running Springs, California in 1951. October 1963. Cars in parking garage at base of Marina Towers high-rise apartment building, Chicago. August 18, 1924. Professor Hall of Naval Observatory with 26-inch telescope. October 1963. John and Sandy Dinehart of Chicago at their Marina City high-rise apartment, the couple entertaining on their 60th floor balcony. July 1943. Greenville, South Carolina. Air Service Command. Enlisted man folding up his gas mask to hang on the wall after having worn it all day. This was a going-away party for a son who had joined the Navy and was leaving for the East Coast. July 1943. Greenville, South Carolina. Air Service Command. Enlisted man of the 25th Service Group relaxing in his hutment. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Photo shoot of Jane Mansfield in a charming outfit, 1957. I hope you will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Actress, producer Donna DeCiani, retro photo shoot. The Enchanting Linda Kramer, 1986 photo shoot. Oakland circa 1960, and a mix and mash agglomeration of late model General Motors vehicles. February 1956. Actress Lucille Ball speaking with young photographer at homecoming ball upon return to her hometown of Jamestown, New York, with husband Desi Arnaz on publicity tour for their film Forever Darling. March 1967. On the set of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour at CBS Television City in Los Angeles. The brothers rehearsing skits with show guest Carol Burnett. New York, September 1952. People looking at fashion model Doris Irwin as she walks down Fifth Avenue. Cleveland circa 1905. Rockefeller Building, 6th Street and Superior Avenue. (1919) Page touring car at San Francisco Golf Club. Tacoma Park, Maryland, circa 1928. Washington Sanitarium Gymnasium. New York circa 1910. Seller of pretzels, 6th Avenue, with a dusting of salt and snow. March 18, 1952. United Nations Secretariat and General Assembly from Welfare Island, East River. San Francisco circa 1919. Nash touring car. Across from the pool hall, taking delivery of some apple crates and an Edison electric something or other. Cleveland circa 1905. Central Armory, Ohio National Guard. (11 a.m. Monday, May 9, 1910. Newsies at Skeeter's Branch, Jefferson near Franklin, St. Louis. New York City, 1975. Three boys with tough expressions smoking cigarettes. Oakland circa 1955, and yet another Buick come a cropper. We promise to call an ambulance just as soon as you finish filling out these photo releases. October 3, 1925. Washington, D.C. Geo Washington U. versus Juniata Colonel at Central High. Circa 1901. The new post office, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Prince George's County, Maryland, circa 1940. Electric Institute of Washington. Cameo Theater, Mount Rainier Lecture. San Francisco, circa 1928. DeSoto Sedan Cresting Hill. The Jersey Shore, circa 1900. Children playing in the surf at Asbury Park. Circa 1901. Gresham Light, Port Huron, Michigan. A great lighthouse on a great lake. (1932). Bonus or Bust, Orlando to Washington shanty, an encampment built by World War I veterans in the Bonus Expeditionary Force in Washington, D.C. January 1925. Washington, D.C. Man painting woman's back is all it says here. Who can help fill in the blanks? Franklin Sedan, San Francisco, 1927. An upscale auto parked outside an imposing home whose balcony seems to have been modified for keeping chickens or children. May 22, 1936. Warehouse District, Water and Dock Streets, Brooklyn, looking west under Brooklyn Bridge to Lower Manhattan. February 1924. Miss Viola Hudson, the WCAP Valentine girl, who on St. Valentine night broadcast a greeting to radio fans. Oakland circa 1956, and another motoring mishap, with yet another guilty-looking Buick. Charming actress Sarah Young, 1990. St. Louis circa 1901. Planters Hotel, 4th and Chestnut. Completed 1893. Circa 1901. Hillside Residences, St. Thomas, West Indies. Washington Tidal Basin Bathing Beach Beauty Contest, August 5, 1922. First prize winner Eva Friedel, who is either 17 or 111 years old, depending on your frame of reference. San Francisco circa 1919. Franklin Brougham. A car with an air-cooled engine and unusual V'd windshield. July 1943. Montgomery County, Maryland. Bathers on the side of the pool at the Glen Echo Amusement Park. September 1938. Storefront in mining town of Osage, West Virginia. Circa 1955 Oakland and our latest motoring mashup, Ford tagged out by Pontiac. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. Lincoln Memorial. View of statue through columns. From the same circa 1900, batch of 5x8 glass negatives. San Francisco circa 1918. Studebaker sedan off Great Highway at Ocean Beach. This Justin from circa 1900 New England, the schoolmarm and her charges, and the schoolyard chicken. New York, 1940. Crowd at Coney Island. Circa 1907. Bethlehem Street looking east. Bethlehem, White Mountains, New Hampshire. A New England garden circa 1900 and yet another outlandishly attired tyke. A century or so early for the Harry Potter casting call. San Francisco, 1922. Cliff House Road construction, view of Sutro Heights and Playland Amusement Park. From somewhere in New England circa 1900 comes the final plate from our recent batch of serious-looking class photos, this group being particularly well camouflaged with greenery. New Hampshire circa 1908. Maplewood House, Bethlehem, White Mountains. Completed in 1876. Detroit circa 1906. Hotel St. Clair, Randolph and Monroe Streets. Completed 1893. May 1956. Memphis, Tennessee. Elvis Presley at home with stuffed animals. Circa 1892. Woman diving from pier. Albumin print from J.S. Johnston's series of American stereoscopic views. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Lonnie Anderson is an American actress. She is an Emmy and Golden Globe Award nominee. Stunning 1966 photo shoot. Charming Sophia Loren, 1960s photo shoot. Hottie Heather Thomas, 1977, post-bath photo shoot. Stephen at Spring Hill, 1952. California Rifle Team at Camp Perry, Ohio, site of the national shoot. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. Girls Rifle Team, George Washington University. San Francisco, circa 1931. V16 at Downey Cadillac Agency. A 16-cylinder Leviathan beached on the shoals of the Great Depression. October 3, 1935. Blossom Restaurant, 103 Bowery, Manhattan. June 1916. Fall River, Massachusetts. Lawrence Burns, 14, Daffer and Picasset Mill, 43 Langley Street. Eye defect. circa 1905. Euclid Avenue, Cleveland, O. The clock tower belongs to the Hickox Building, 1890 to 1946. San Francisco, circa 1929. Graham Page at California Palace of the Legion of Honor, Lincoln Park. "32nd Street entrance, Pennsylvania Station, New York. The original Penn Station in the final stages of construction, circa 1910. Mills House Number 2, Rivington Street, New York, New York. This hostel for poor gentlemen, one of 3 erected by the banker Darius Ogden Mills as lodging houses for working-class men. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1950, and another still from the housing series, showing the opposite of an en-suite bath. Washington, D.C., after the blizzard of January 1922. Snow is all it says on the caption card. We wonder if the absence of a shadow might portend 6 more weeks of winter. We return to accident-prone Oakland, circa 1958, for this view of a Ford ranch wagon that just bought the farm. New York, circa 1905. Blockaded cars on 23rd Street. Washington, circa 1935. U.S. Capitol exteriors. Dome of Capitol and Park in winter. A tough-looking group and their Essex sedan somewhere in Northern California in 1929. This appears to be the same couple seen in the roadhouse from the previous photo. (1943) At ease. 2 soldiers in a bomb storage facility at Camp Pendleton, California, admiring portrait of a young woman. Pin-up of Susan Hayward hangs nearby. San Francisco, 1924. Piercero Autos at Gillig Brothers. Specialists in bodybuilding, seat covers, auto painting and upholstery. Circa 1904. Cadet Armory, Boston, Massachusetts. Sexy actress Lorene Tuttle is how the seller of this mid-century publicity still described its subject. Matronly character actor, might be more on the mark. From CA 1915, we bring you the John Doe family and their cat. Rail yard accident. Oakland again, circa 1954, and the curious case of the tip trailer. Fruitvale Avenue at 10th Street in Oakland circa 1956, and yet another vignette of vehicular violence. Washington, D.C. Suffrage Art, January 29, 1921. A few months after passage of the 19th Amendment gave American women the right to vote. February 25, 1920. Washington, D.C. Herbert J. Drain, congressman from Florida, is from Tarpon Springs, which is said to be the largest sponge market in the world. Actress Linda Lusardi, 1980. New York, 1947. On the set board and show broadcast. Back when telephones and televisions had dials, and shows were often named for the sponsor. San Francisco, 1931. Oldsmobile sedan. February 6, 1936. L Station, 6th and 9th Avenue lines, downtown side, 72nd Street and Columbus Avenue, Manhattan. The Wi-Fi is down, but we do have heat. From circa 1900 somewhere in the Northeast, we bring you four anonymous young people who are finally getting their first taste of the internet. All we want, they plead, is to be liked. From somewhere in the Northeast circa 1920 comes this glass negative, saved from the landfill. Presumably these folks have moved on by now, having had what we hope was a pleasant journey. March 20th, 1936. McDougal Alley, between West 8th Street and Washington Square North, Manhattan. 1/5th Avenue rises above. San Francisco circa 1919. Briscoe Auto at Land's End. March 6, 1936. Looking down Pike Street toward the Manhattan Bridge, street half in shadow, rubble and gutters, some traffic. February 10, 1936. Columbus Circle, Manhattan looking northwest from above the Circle, Statue of Columbus, Beale bus station topped with Coca-Cola sign, other signs, Mayflower Hotel, Central Park with snow. Oakland circa 1953 and another vehicular misadventure, this time starring the bike that couldn't quite dodge a Dodge. October 9th, 1935. Broome Street, numbers 504 to 506, Manhattan.